welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32, everywhere in Pittsburgh, Comcast 7. Thanks for our Bethel Park fans who can only watch Comcast 7 here in Bethel. And thank you for, on Facebook, we hit, I think it was 2694 today. So we're getting close to that 2,700 mark on likes. For most of you that don't understand that, just like us, it helps. It helps get the word out about BPTV. And we're thankful to John the Tiger Kiger. He gets an assist. He found the mic tonight. You could get a close-up of that, John.
Why don't you call in, John?
No, that's okay. We're good. Well, we got a lot of great sports to talk about. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Chip the Prophet Hayner's right over here. Right over here. Then we got Smoking Jim Frazier over there. And Zach Brenner's on the end there.
Who?
Little Z.
Oh, yeah.
Zach Brenner. You know the guy on the end? This is live TV, folks, so anything can happen here. We've had a couple gremlins in here because we got some guys that do horror motion pictures and stuff like that, so I think we're being haunted tonight. But we'll work on that. We start with our opening segment. What's on our mind? See? What did I tell you? There's a spirit in here.
Sure.
Zach Brenner, what's on your mind? Sports only, please.
Well, Al Levine, the talking machine, I'm going to tell you guys what's on my mind.
What is on your
mind?
mind?
What's on my mind tonight is pro boxing. April 18th, it's a Friday. It's in God's country at the Monroeville Convention Center. My good buddy and Brenner Contracting sponsor fighter Lightning Rod Soka gets back in the ring. He's fighting for a WBO belt. The fight will be telecast live on Showtime. It is an Iron Mike Tyson promotion, so Iron Mike Tyson's going to be coming to the city. So that's going to be great. Can't wait to see it. Hoping Smoking Jim Frazier, since it's in his backyard, will grace us with an appearance in God's country, as always. But what's on my mind is boxing on April 18th. Come on out, folks. Call me for tickets. Brenner Contracting Box Office, 412-583-5047.
Zach Brenner, thank you
Box
very much.
office.
Those are both friends of ours that are out there. I don't know if John the Tiger Kiger can get a close-up over here. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine, right here. Bang.
A little zoom in might work. Nope. Oh, there we go. Wow.
There's the number for all the people that are visual, and then when this is up on Pittsburgh Sportsline on video.
Hey, Jim Frazier, could you write that number down the next time you call Mr. Winner to snake your sword? Holy smokes.
Excellent.
Golly. Take that number.
Did my head just get bigger there on that screenshot? Thank you.
Wasn't your head.
Oh, whoops. Having a little body dysfunction here. Okay, thank you. Devin Shea is in the control room, and Carl's there assisting him humbly. Thank you very much.
What about George?
George is just floating around. George, if you're in there, we appreciate you.
Yeah,
Right?
with desert fish.
Yeah, that's true. And now we're going to go back to sports. That was a little break there. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Hey, how's your hands?
you got to see Levine.
Take that. Whoa.
Snatched that, didn't he? Wow.
Hey, what's on my mind is your Pittsburgh Steelers, and my good friend Chip Hayner is still holding out hope that with the Steelers' 9 picks that they'll turn things around. I'm still under the impression that the Pittsburgh Steelers, when Bill Cowher players retire, will become the Pittsburgh Pirates, and it seems to be true. Last
2 years in a row,
8-8. And I think 8-8 would be a great season. I think Coach Tomlin would be Coach of the Year with 8-8. Pittsburgh Steelers went out on a limb last week and brought in the linebacker from Buffalo, and a guy who did not start for tiny James Madison College until his junior year. 6'2", 250 pounds. I got a feeling that Jarvis Jones would like to race this guy. In 4 years with the Buffalo Bills, he has a whopping 5 sacks. So the Pittsburgh Steelers brought in Art Moats, who did not start for the Buffalo Bills. He'll be a 5th-year player. And all I have to say for the Pittsburgh Steelers is with Art Moats and Jarvis Too Slow Jones, Joey Porter, you got your work cut out for you, buddy. And that's what's on my mind.
Thanks, Smoking Jim. Appreciate it. We're going to do a lot of revisitation on your first two opening remarks there. All right, Chip the Prophet Hainer, what's on your mind?
Oh, thank you, Alan. And what's on my mind, 1 week away from opening day at PNC Park. But a little something else is on my mind today, and I'm going over to visit with the NFL. And an NFL great unfortunately passed away today, and he was one of the original founders of the American Football League. Ralph Wilson, owner of the Buffalo Bills, at 95 years old, passed away. He is a legend in football circles. He, along with Lamar Hunt, Nell Davis, were part of the the original AFL, which now merged with the NFL back in the late '60s and developed what we have right now, the great NFL football game that we all know and love. And another thing that's on my mind today is I want everybody to say a prayer for somebody, local athlete. He was a gentleman that did something that has never been done before in the NFL. And probably will never be done again. He quarterbacked the team to 4 Super Bowls.
Jim Kelly.
Okay, 4 Super Bowls, and unfortunately, he came up short in each of them. But Jim Kelly has had a recurrence of a very aggressive type of oral cancer, and he's back in the hospital. He's supposed to undergo surgery sometime next week. And keep him in your thoughts and prayers. East Brady's own, and I hope. I wish him well, and I hope he beats this battle. But I saw some pictures of him in the hospital, and he looks rough. Cancer's a bad thing, and it takes people far too young. But keep him in your thoughts. And Ralph Wilson, one of the pioneers of professional football. That's what's on my mind today.
Thanks, Chip.
Might have to get my Jim Kelly story later on in the show.
Thought I'd.
How many years ago was that story?
How many times are we going to hear this story?
That's all right. If he talks about his brothers again, I want to hear it. All right? And if they're in the stands, I want to hear it. Oh, sorry about that. Hey, what's on my mind is more than that.
What do you got?
Smoking Jim Frazier gave me some updates on this. I'd like you to try to get a close-up. You got to get a really... Smoking Jim, hand that to me so I can read.
There you go. Come on. Up.
Come on. Now, this is why BPTV is one of the best stations you could ever watch. Look what you're getting to see here. Rivers Casino. Oh, man.
We lost it.
They're just testing me.
Testing.
He can read and hold it with his right hand. You don't see stuff like this.
Choose wisely.
Rivers Casino. Champion Enterprises has a fundraiser, charitable fundraising affair. Night of the Champions. Forget that. Here's the key. We got some Hall of Fame Steelers and Super Bowl champion Steelers. And Smoking Jim Frazier, my buddy and co-host, and a friend to all of us, is the MC that night. So we're going to video with Devin Shea at 6 o'clock till 7. Or we don't know when. This could go on all night. But listen who's going to be there. Come on out. Mel Blount, Randy Grossman, Robin Cole, Louis Lips, Andy Russell, J.T. Thomas, Mike Wagner, and Dwayne Woodruff.
Honorable.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it 2 nights in a row since that video just come out. I didn't post it up.
I seen him.
I try to mix it up.
So.
Okay, that's good. Now this will be a 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock event, and they got a lot of great things: photographs, autographs, one item per person. $25 per person. You got to be 21 years or older. So Smoking Jim, I don't know about all those ladies that are friends of yours. You better check some IDs. They can't come in with you.
Hey, my buddy Jim's got some freshly minted IDs.
Well,
already for Saturday night.
Oh, we can't have that. Now I need another close-up. Well, before we'll go backwards. That was Saturday night. Friday night is Golden Glove Boxing at 3 Lakes Country Club. And I know it's in Penn Hills. It's close to Monroeville.
There you go.
Smoking Jim and I will be there. We'll be announcing the fights. And I hear we have a special guest with us, Jamie Chesney. And thanks, Smoking Jim. Jamie, he did bring my T-shirt back. He didn't give it away to somebody else to sleep in, so I got my T-shirt back. That's another story. She's supposed to be one of our guest hosts with us that night.
I'm excited.
Well, you're always excited.
I'm like
buddy.
orphaned.
Zach Brenner.
That's all right, folks. That's all right, folks. When I arrive, I take all the luster.
You know what? I'm on what's on my mind. I didn't know this was open discussion on my mind. Chip's the only one that's quiet here. I didn't even get
That's a
through.
BPTV
Alan,
first,
the
too.
inmates are running the asylum.
Yeah, but that's okay. We're all part of those same inmates in the asylum. And Devin Shea, welcome back in the room again. Then on Thursday night, if you can't make it Friday night with us, you can't make it Saturday night, Thursday night at Little E's, 949 Liberty Avenue, across from August Wilson Center, that's closed right now. Come on over.
They're working on bringing it back.
I mean, there's a
coalition.
you know what? There's a lot of friends of mine that are
Coalition
working on
of
that,
NAACP.
and it's a sad day that something like that had to close, because I was in there for a couple events, and it was a great place. So hopefully they'll open it up soon. Anyhow, come across the street, or Smoking Jim would say. Anywho, you can be there. See Smoking Jim, myself, and Zach Brenner. We're not sure if he's going to be there because he's a little upset that he's not invited to Friday night fights. He doesn't know if he has a free ticket to the casino.
Hey, I hate to interrupt though, but the folks.
No, you don't.
Would you rather
That's all
be
you're
on
doing.
Showtime, or would you rather be at Twin Lakes or Three Lakes or whatever lake or Penn Hills or whatever? Like, I would rather be on Showtime. So I'll see you April 18th, folks. On Friday.
We're talking this week. They can't go on Showtime this week.
It's gonna. I mean, Showtime
It's called
is
No
Showtime.
Time this week.
Yeah.
Showtime is Showtime.
So-
April 18th.
Check out the Jessica Lee Jazz Networking with the mini show of Pittsburgh Sportsline. Zach Brenner will definitely be there unless he has another commitment, and then he can't be there. So you'll get to see Pleasant Zach in the rarest form there, on stage,
Always.
uncut. And that's what's on my mind.
Great job, man. Great job.
I'm glad we made it through. I lost track of the seg. Oh, wow, here it is. Another close-up. Can we work the camera one more time?
Yummy.
Thank you. You guys can read. I've been saying this a couple weeks.
Does that apply to on Fridays during Lent?
Does it say Sunday on it? Okay.
Where has Zach been? Can anybody tell
Did
me?
he have to put a cherry on it for you to see it was Sunday?
Here's Zach. There it is. And those are $3 specials. Seafood specials, calamari,
right
Bloody
here.
Mary, fish with fries, and during the Lenten season, Zach. Okay, you can come there. Friday, they have the biggest fish. Thursday, they got wings. They got specials during happy hour, half-price appetizers at times, free parking. Tuesday night is Campidi night, 50 cents a slice. Shout out to the Campidis. Keep putting that pizza in a bag there. People enjoy that. Monday night is Pittsburgh Sportsline there. Some great crowds, great guests, some really great shows. And I don't know, Smoking Jim, what'd you eat this Monday?
Meatball.
The best meatball hoagie he had since 2 weeks.
And that's the Sip Sports Bar segment. That's it. Entertainment there, too.
Jeez, that was quick.
Hi, Brandy.
With an E after I. People are getting confused.
I gave her a high five last time.
Finally, you're breaking through again. All right, we better go to one of my favorite segments before I forget.
Revisitation?
Yeah, we forgot that.
Didn't we? The only reason I
Chip,
did-
let's go to revisitation.
Here we go.
It got so crazy with on mine. I thought we revisited automatically on mine.
All right, one thing
Here's
I
the
wanna-
revisitation
One
moment.
thing I want to bring up about Jim's comment about Arthur Moats being signed by the Steelers, and I'm really excited for him to be playing for the Steelers this year. He has done one thing of note in his NFL career.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, he did.
Oh, I heard my Brett Favre.
He ended Brett Favre's consecutive game streak, put him on the sideline, and the streak was broken.
No wonder he's a
Arthur
hater.
Moats is famous for something.
Well, I wanted to bring up something about that,
I
too.
forgot about that. Oh, and that was him that did it. Oh.
Yikes.
You knew that. You knew that,
He
Scout.
just needed to be reminded, that's all.
Well, another thing that with revisitation here is they're rebuilding. And when they put a Moats in there, it's to replace guys that they don't have.
Like foot.
Well, he was slow of foot. You got Jarvis.
He was
we
hurt a lot,
understand that.
too.
Well, he also played well at times, too.
Every once in a while.
And that happens there. Boy, there's like a breeze that people keep blowing in here. But part of the problem is you are rebuilding. Now, could they win? Zach Brenner convinced me last night on air that they could win. Because if they kick a field goal, or maybe they don't give an interception away or give up an early lead, they could win a couple games, be 10-6, 11-5. And then Smoking Jim, they'll be on a winning streak again.
But to be honest with you, for what they've cut from the team this year, I honestly don't feel like the Steelers really lost a lot, to be honest with you. I mean, they got rid of a lot of unproductive football players, and it's about time, if you're not producing, you're going to make room for somebody that will.
Well, here's the good news for the Steelers. They still got a lot of unproductive football players still on their team.
Whoa, we just lost everything for a second.
We're having all kinds of problems here tonight. But
It makes it exciting.
who drafts those unproductive
His best friend.
players?
His best
Who's
friend.
in the war room
Bill
for the
Cowher.
drafting of these unproductive players? I mean, it's not Bill Cowher in the last couple of years. I mean, it's Kevin Colbert and Mike
Who was
Tomlin.
Larry Foote, Bill Cowher's player?
Hold it. The last year of Bill Cowher's illustrious football, maybe not Hall of Fame career, but what was his record his last year for the two guys over there that are big fans? His last year. Okay. And what's their record the last 2 years?
500.
Okay, so now we have a chance to start the new era and get back in the Super Bowl.
And I don't know how they could ever be compared with the slumping Buccos. They finally crawled out of the grave after 20 straight seasons of pure awfulness. So I don't see how we're going to revert back to that because we still got Ben
Ding, ding.
Roethlisberger for a couple
Hold
of
it.
seasons
Ding,
left
ding.
up.
Was that a revisitation of Bucko talk?
We haven't had any yet.
I understand the angst that my young friend has because 20 years of that since he brought it up, I'm not going to revisit it.
Atrocious,
Yeah,
awful.
we're beyond that. Any other revisitation on the pertinent subjects that we did have? Or you want to make
9
one up?
picks in the draft for the Steelers.
How many starters do you guys think that they'll get in this draft?
I hope 2. Maybe.
I'm being serious.
I would hope that they could get 3 to 4, but it remains to be seen. I'd like to see what direction they go with the first pick. The thing that's starting to scare me a little bit was listening to Calvin Colbert. They should keep microphones away from him.
Yeah.
He's talking about, this draft is one of the deepest drafts of recent memory.
In 30 years, he said.
Yeah, and he said, we're thinking about maybe trading down.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
You're going to trade down?
Well, you know what? He's
we need a good
negotiating.
player
Hey,
at
we trade
15.
down if we get a.
We're going to be hard pressed to get a good player at 15, and he wants to trade out of that.
Yeah, I mean,
This might be your best year, my friend, there. You know that. Being in a
is
war
anybody
room.
going to listen to you this year?
No.
Don't keep talking, man. They'll
Keep eating that steak.
Hey, could I be your caddy there so I could get to carry your
Alabama wants
tray?
steak too.
Yeah, I like steak.
Who doesn't like steak? Who doesn't like boxing on a Friday night? I don't know. Who doesn't like seafood on Fridays during Lent? Oh, and Sundays.
Well, if we're going to bring up steak, I remember a bet last year.
All you gotta do is call it in.
Oh yeah, all you gotta do is go to Pete in the kitchen with Sips and say, "Hey, I want a steak."
I was going to do a separate segment, but it's our annual bet. $1 bet, Chipper.
Okay,
I hate to do it,
I'm in.
but they won't make 82.
Did they put Obama on that dollar yet? No.
No,
No, do you know who's on there?
it's gonna take a long time.
It's not Ben Franklin like you're carrying. Good luck on your bet. I hope I lose.
I'll tell you what, Alan, I am going to enjoy the ride. 6 months, and I'm going to enjoy every day
You
of
know
it.
about George Washington? He was a great American.
That's our political segment, and that we're done with revisitation. It's time to move on. Thanks, folks, for watching the show. Hope you enjoy it. 412-831.
Studies.
3304. That wasn't even a segment. Hold it.
Jesus.
You know what? I'm going to write that down. General. All right. Next. Now let's go to a couple of my favorite segments. This one is Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. What do you got?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, and being that I'm still in the running with my March Madness, I just thought I'd bring this with me. But my fiction fact, it's blank. My fiction fact with Smoking Jim's Almanacs. I actually got to give a shout out to Newcastle. And Chip brought it up last night at Sips. But,
So this is less than 24 hours old.
Less than 24 hours old, and we're going to go back a little bit on this. The first team in 31 years to go undefeated, the 1983 Stowe Rocks team, which I don't count because they're not. They weren't playing at the highest level of classifications, but they did have a DeMichael on their team, so that did make them good. But my dad told me some of the greatest teams is. My dad said the 1965 Midland team with Simi Hill and Storm and Norman Van Lille.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said the 66 Ambridge team with Dickie DiVinzio. He said the 1976 Fifth Avenue team with Sam Clancy, Bill Clark, Puffy Kennedy, and Warnie Macklin. They were undefeated state champions and ranked number 2 in the country. The best teams that I've seen in my lifetime would have to be the 2007 Shinley team.
You're young.
With
Wow.
DeAndre Blair,
DeWarren
Blair, DJ Kennedy, Greg Blair, DeAndre Kane, who's playing with Iowa State now, that wasn't recruited by Pitt, and probably the best player on that team was a point guard named Onion. The 2012 Gateway team with Barnett Harris, 6'10", that led Delaware into the,
What,
you know,
the CBA?
They're in the. They were in the
NCAA.
March Madness. They were in March Madness this year. Delaware made March Madness. Thanks.
One and done.
One and done. Like
That wasn't one and done either.
yeah, and Pitt should have recruited him. And Tyler Scott. And last but not least, welcome to the club, 2014 Newcastle team.
Wow.
Got to be up there with one of the all-time greats, and that's what fiction and fact.
This is a rare day in Pittsburgh Sportsline history for Smoking Jim Frazier.
Yeah, that was painful, I could tell you.
When
I
was
could
the
see.
last time you were in Newcastle?
He drove by the other day.
Where do you think Macaroni Tony lives?
Yeah, and when do you think the next time he's going to be in Newcastle is? In another 31 years.
Some tells me macaroni Chinese in God's country a lot. Shaking down them heavy pockets.
I still say that's like Marciano or something. It's not macaroni. I'm checking the phone book. All right, thanks, Smoking Jim. Let's go to Chip's trivia time.
Oh, thank you, Alan. Being that we're coming upon the coming of the 2014 baseball season, Pirates home opener is Monday.
Wow.
It's
March
going to be a great
31st.
day. You know, they say it's going to be in the 60s. The sun's going to be shining. Remember last year for the opener, the snow was flying sideways during the game.
Really?
Yeah, it was. But I've got some info here, some trivia from Pittsburgh Pirates opening day games throughout their history. And, the Pirates have played at a number of different ball fields. The first place they played is part of a parking lot in the north side right now. It was called Exposition Park. And
I remember it well.
And their winning percentage on opening day at that park was, I think it was .528. You have to excuse me, I don't have my glasses, and I've got some really small print here, so I'm going to do the best I can. The winning pitcher when the Pirates won their first PNC home opener in 2002 was Ron Vallone. When the score of that game was 1-0 Pirates. The very first Pirate to hit a grand slam at the Pirates home opener was the great Roberto Clemente.
Really?
The very first.
Wow. What year was that?
Um,
We don't need you to. If you can't see, forget about it.
I'm like
I just
blind in
looked
one eye and I can't see out the other right now.
At least you highlighted everything.
No, I highlighted the answer so I could see this. The Pirates' winning percentage in home openers at Three River Stadium was .433. The winning percentage for home openers at the Great Forbes Field, which the Pirates played at from 1909 until 1970, was .672.
Now that's nice.
So that was the house that brought the Pirates their most success. Mm-hmm.
Hey,
did
you're
study.
very astute.
What's
Okay.
that mean?
Okay, and who threw out the first pitch at PNC Park in 2001? Former owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Kevin McClatchy. Okay.
He missed it.
Which of these Pirates pitchers never won on opening day, home or away? Steve Blass, Doc Ellis, Doug Drabeck, or Chris Benson? Steve Blass would be the correct answer. And, Steve Blass won a lot of big games for the Pirates, and I would have never guessed that. Who was the Pirates' leadoff man on opening day in 1971? And that was the year the Pirates beat the Orioles. No, it would have been a Hall of Famer, Bill Mazeroski.
Leadoff hitter.
Leadoff hitter on opening day. Wow. Okay, now who was the leadoff hitter on opening day for the home opener for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 1979 season when they again won the World Series? Frank Tavares.
I remember.
And last but not least here, I was going through some other trivia about my beloved Buccos, and the Pittsburgh Pirates originally started out as the Pittsburgh Alleghenies.
I'm familiar with that.
And they got their name. A person named Louis Bierbauer was responsible for the Pirates getting their name. And the reason why the Pirates got their name, because he was a baseball player that played for the Phillies. Played for the Philadelphia team, and the Pirates pirated him away from their organization and signed him, and that's how the Pirates got their nickname, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's the truth. I knew that.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that. Yep, definitely.
Good stuff, Chip.
And you know why they were the Alleghenies?
Good every week.
That was a little city there called Allegheny, and it wasn't incorporated into Pittsburgh till later on.
Mm-hmm.
Was it North Side?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. And
It was
actually,
its own community, and it was one of the roughest, toughest
More rougher
communities.
than the Mexican War Streets?
And they fought the war there, and
Smoking Jim, right between PNC Park and in front of Heinz Field was where Exposition Park was located on the north side. There's a plaque there commemorating it.
yes. And that's Chip's trivia time. Thank you very much. Now we got our little special time we do, because one of the guys we ignored all these special events and everything. We've carved out a little segment for himself. He gets 22 seconds. No, he gets a little more than that. It's Z time by popular demand. All the Z friends out there. And you know what? I'm remiss. We were with one of your friends today. Easy E. We got too crazy here at the beginning with some of the stuff. Shout out to one of our biggest fans at Bishop's Pizza, Easy E. There you go, buddy. I missed it by about a half an hour.
Is butter out there?
No butter there.
Butter big.
He's on his grind. He's on his grizzy. For you folks at home,
Well,
butter stays on his grind.
they have to watch the video. I'll be
It's
posting
not
that later
shiny butter
tonight.
either, folks. For you folks at home.
And for all that good stuff, it's Z time.
It sure is.
I
I
thought
couldn't
the
be more
camera was
happy
on
that
me.
it was my time.
You're looking here. What? Where are we at?
Oh, we're right there.
Oh, there we are. Okay,
There we
Z
go. We're
time.
back. So,
Z time.
basically on Z time, what we're going to touch
There it
base
is.
on today. Normally, I never really use this forum of mine to preach a particular message, but tonight I just want to call out any gentleman that raises his hand to a woman. You're a pure coward to me. And if you feel that strongly of a need to raise your hand to a woman, call that number that Al Levine holds up that towel and come
I'll
see
just
me.
say it.
And,
412-583-5047.
I tell you what, I wholeheartedly support what Zach says.
I'll give you a
100%.
fight. I'm called damn in my classification of weight class in the
Watch
city
that.
of Pittsburgh.
Watch that
You've been
video.
dubbed that by the great Hank Hannesick from AMS.
So you could take into that whatever you like, but that just means that I'm real good with my hands.
You think you have fans that are like that. I hope they don't watch anymore and they just leave town. 'Cause that's not right.
No, it is not.
Anybody that does things like that.
No.
I mean, I'm happy for the Buccos, transitioning while it's still my time after those 2 great segments
That was a great transition there.
that I sit through, and I'm very quiet for. I'm very respectful to those 2 segments. Now that it's Z time, I'm very optimistic about the Buccos winning this home opener and starting the season off on a winning note. But then I often feel, as such as we've been led to believe, they didn't do enough in the offseason, and we're going to kind of take a couple steps backwards here, and you're going to see that, folks. So don't get your hopes too up. I'm liking that bet Levine made. But as for Chip's bet, we go to Sips every Monday night. Go tell the Chef Pete, who Smoking Jim is always touting out, and tells Pete, did you want a steak, and put it on my tab. And it's a steak you shall have, because the Pirates did end their atrocities last season with a good season, but I don't think it's going to be followed up by a good one this year. So that's my word.
Thank you, Z.
Good man, Zach.
And he will pay off on his bet. You heard it live.
Oh,
Couple nice deer steaks.
Well, we heard they're coming, Smoking Jim. I know you're a little sensitive in your
If they don't
eating.
come from Giant Eagle, I'm not eating them. I don't want any roadkill.
I eat nothing but the best meat. Nothing but Argentinian beef. Look it up, folks. Argentinian beef is some of the best beef in the world. Ask Levine.
From Mexican War Street.
That's a real street. I know people that live there.
I did work here.
I know people that live there. That's a nice street in the neighborhood.
It is. Well, what other segments do we have to look forward to in the next 27 minutes, Mr. Levine, the talking machine?
We're looking at NCAA. We're
March
looking at
Madness.
Penguins. We're looking at Pirates, because we haven't talked about them enough. And we're looking at Steelers.
What an amazing run the first weekend of March Madness. I'll tell you what.
Yes.
And one of the reasons why I love this basketball tournament, there were some of the best games this weekend. And even though, a team that I had, on one of my polls, a team that I had picked to take it all, played, I thought, one of the best games of the weekend, Wichita State, and they came up a little short, but that was a really great game to watch.
Yes, it was.
Wichita
I watched
State
every
and
minute
Kentucky.
of that game.
And you know what?
It was on
Those
the line.
freshmen from Kentucky really.
But I want to tell you something.
torch.
Top to bottom, all the way. I mean, Pitt came out of the gates and destroyed Colorado, and they ran into a buzzsaw when they ran into Florida, and Florida proved why they're their number one ranked team.
They got 5 seniors.
I'll tell you what, they're going to be a tough team to beat. But there's, anything can happen in these games, and that's what I love about the NCAA basketball tournament, because most of these young men that are playing in these games, their professional lives are going to be doing something other than playing basketball, and that's what really makes this so worth watching, because they're not playing for shoe contracts.
Who's your championship?
Well, I've got several of them, but Wichita State was one of them.
He played 8 of them, so he picked
I
every
picked a
team.
different winner on every one, Zach.
So I got 3. I only did one bracket.
Where's the heavy money at?
I got 3.
You got any heavy money?
3 of my teams are still eligible for the Final Four.
Okay.
Okay.
3 out of the 4.
3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Arizona and Iowa State, I got them playing in the
I heard
championship.
you like Iowa State.
I like Arizona to win it all. But
I
love
knew I'd
Iowa
get the
State.
Hey, you know what? I'd be able to root
TJ
for that.
McConnell.
Sean Miller, Blackhawks own.
What a move by TJ McConnell.
Pitt alum. And his dad's probably one of the greatest high school coaches in the area.
Basketball, yeah.
Yeah,
Good thing you
absolutely. Well, I
specified.
didn't think we were talking about ice hockey.
I thought you were talking track and field.
You still watching hockey now that the Olympics
he
are
is.
over?
Yeah, he is.
He wanted to know what Sochi
There's a couple
was.
brothers in the league.
What's Sochi?
He's all
What's
busted.
Sochi?
He's all busted up about.
He thought Sochi was in
Gino's
Japan.
foot.
No, he thought it was sushi, but they missed.
Hey, you know they found that plane that was missing?
What plane?
Yeah,
What plane? He said.
Malaysia.
He said what plane?
No,
No,
seriously,
that's-
no.
Or as
In all
Harvey
seriousness,
Bellatrix used to say,
R.I.P.
the plane.
R.I.P. to the folks of that flight. You know what? We don't know the full details of what happened on that tragic flight, but there was a woman from South Park or Bethel Park that tragically was on that plane.
Yes, it was.
So,
Yes, it was. And
R.I.P.
I'll tell you what, we're never going to know what happened to that, and that's what really the sad thing is for the families of the people that were on that plane, because
what a
they're never going to
tragedy.
get answers.
What a tragedy there to be missing like that in this day and age. They're listening to our phone calls. They have technology with satellites. How do you lose something like that? You got
agree.
black boxes that never shut off.
I agree with you.
So, I mean, it's sad for there. So our
It
prayers
is.
do go out to the families and our deepest sympathy. And we do get a little silly on there, and we can't really apologize because we're more sophomoric than most people would believe. So thank you for watching. All right, how about some Penguin talk?
Well, before we do that,
Well,
what do I win with this? Because it looks like I'm the
It's
only
a blank
one here.
sheet.
I look like I'm the only one here. You got the real sheet. Look like I'm the only one here still in the running.
I'm still in
At
there.
least get my money back.
You know what?
I don't know. We never saw
Well,
it. There's points
You'll
though.
have an update sheet tomorrow, folks.
So the Penguins got another stumbling block in their way. Geno Malkin, 3 weeks. He's out. They're hoping that he doesn't need surgery on his foot. He may not be back until the playoffs. And
What did happen to him?
And they said in his first shift at the game against St. Louis on Sunday, he sustained a foot injury. Still continued to play the entire game.
he
He
played
ended
a
up
pretty
playing
good game.
24 minutes of the game. But see, hockey players jam their feet into their
Two sizes
skates.
too small.
And they, once they
Really?
untie them, it's like poof, and his foot, is swelled up, and he's out of commission for the time being. So now Brian Sutter's going to move up and take his spot on the line, and he'll be skating center for the Goon, James Neal on his wing.
I knew we'd
wait,
get
did
onto
I talk about that? Did I do that? Yeah, James Neal.
I'm just glad he's not a pirate because I know you wouldn't talk about him then. The Pirates are on a pedestal.
No, you know what? I
Them
mean,
bums.
the Pirates will accept criticism when it's due, but
Okay.
how can you criticize a team that hasn't played a game yet this year?
They would love to be 500 every season over there at PNC Park. Let me tell you that, folks. So as long as my Steelers keep doing it, like I said, we were a kick away and play away.
All right. But to speak to my point about James Neal. James Neal once again cross-checks a defending player in the face, with his stick, and all he got was a $5,000 fine for it, and
He didn't even get a penalty.
it didn't get a penalty, didn't get suspended, and I think he should probably take some time off. Because this head hunting that he's become habitual with this year, he need Marshawn in the head earlier in the season, which got him suspended. Marshawn is
opinions
probably
of
one of the
Zach?
least liked players in the NHL, but still, that's Bush League play, and it can't be accepted. And I think you look at him. I think this is a product of frustration because he's not producing the way he has in
Well, he's so
years past.
streaky. He's so streaky.
Because he's been a big goal scorer the last 2 or 3 years. He's not putting the puck in the net the way he used to, and I think his frustration's starting to get the better of him.
Well, let me ask you a hockey question.
Sure.
If the Penguins don't win this year, will they be looking for a new coach?
Yes.
That's a good question, and
I think they will.
Um,
Coaches go.
you can't fire the team. They've got so many players tied up with long-term, big-dollar contracts. This is a team that their time is coming and it's going. They've been 5 years since they've been played for the Stanley Cup. Last year, we thought it was their best chance. I don't even
You know
see
who got
them.
over 30 goals this year? Yager. Another mistake by the Penguins not re-signing him.
Whose favorite player is
Well,
that?
you know
Mine,
what?
I think.
That wasn't the Penguins' fault. That was Yager's fault. The Penguins put an offer on the table to him. He went after.
turned him down.
He turned him down. And
You know
went to
why? He didn't know
Philadelphia.
you were watching still. He thought you gave up on him.
The
He
Penguins
was looking
tried-
for Kit
Lemieux
Kats.
opened the door for him, and he slammed it shut on Mario. So it wasn't that they
Offer
didn't.
was a
want-
little weak. It was a little
You
weak.
should have given him some of those starving models.
And
Maybe they should have just gave him free play over at the Rivers Casino.
speaking of free play, I just had a conversation. I need to talk with that executive committee at the Rivers there. Maybe Pittsburgh Sportsline will jump in and get that for him. What do you think?
Good. Sounds good.
We'll get some free play there. We'll talk to the Rivers and see what we can do. And by the way, there may be 500 people at that event.
Yeah,
So it's going to be
yeah.
a pretty big event.
Yeah.
Zach Brenner, Smoking Jim said you're invited to come there.
What?
Didn't you listen to that?
Oh my goodness!
He already invited you. I don't know.
I don't know what to
How'd
say,
you miss
folks.
that?
I'm truly.
Same with
touched.
Chip. Chip's got a prior engagement.
Hey, I'm going to be down with the KSWA Crazies
Oh,
and Trapper Tom, and I'm going to watch the Joe Abbey Memorial Tournament, and I'm going to have a hoot of a good time.
Hey, Steph, say hi to the jester.
Yeah, whatever you do, can you get a photo with Stephanie and the Jester, please?
That's going to be
You know
tough to
what?
pull off.
If that gets posted,
Okay.
I might have to duck what I want to do.
When we were there,
She's been practicing kickboxing, I don't need her to practice on me.
well, when we were there, what was that in December?
Practice on the Jester.
Remember how close the Jester and Little Z were almost into it, let alone the owner?
Hey, what's up, Sean Blanchard? Shane
Yeah.
Blanchard? Sean, whatever.
Yeah.
Sean,
You got to bring your own
The
baseball
enforcer.
bat. Bring your own
yeah,
baseball
but no,
bat.
on Saturday night, just to give Trapper Tom a little shout out, the Joe Abbey Memorial Tournament, they're going to induct into the Hall of Fame Chili Billy Cardill,
Johnny DeFazio.
Jumping Johnny DeFazio, and somebody, Martoni. It's going to be a great night, and I'm telling you what, the 51st Street in Butler down in Lawrenceville.
You listen to Tom.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'll tell you what, it's a great way. It's $10, and I'm telling you what, if you don't belly laugh the whole evening long, then you don't even know what a good time is. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm going to get on and enjoy the antics. It'll be quite a Saturday night.
Well, I can't wait to enjoy the annex with Little Z and watching my man Smoking Jim Frazier. If you want to see an event when he MCs it and interviews people, it's just unreal. I don't know why he's not on ESPN. This might get you over the top. The Donnybrook and now the Rivers Casino event. I think this is it, folks. Take a look. Can we get a close-up of Smoking Jim with his SIP shirt before he goes?
And don't forget us.
I'm blushing. He got me blushing.
Don't forget about where you came from, Jim.
I don't know where we missed your head on that one.
Hey, we're all going together, brother. We're all going together.
That's what I want to hear.
One for all and all for one. There you go, Zach. I know you weren't feeling the love earlier. I don't know what happened. The young man got a few things out there he wants to handle, so he'll take care of that. But he is invited to these events Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Come on out. I just wanted to share this with you, Zach. At the boxing, when I first met you and Smoking Jim met you, you can actually get into the boxing match by saying, I'm with Smoking Jim.
Who's Smoking Jim?
Yeah.
I'll say that again. You can actually say, I'm with Smoking Jim. Welcome aboard.
I will do that. I will do that. One small step for men.
And it should be a great night of boxing. We didn't cover boxing here, but there's a little mini section here. Jimmy Sabetic puts on some of the
Do we know
greatest
who's
Golden
fighting?
Glove. I don't have the list of
Oh.
it. I can show this again as a close. Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
April
Does it
4th.
say who's fighting?
No.
Oh, so we don't know who's fighting.
We get great information, but it's to be announced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You got the TBA.
April 18th, Lightning Rod
Well, we
Soka.
already know that's announced. Who's on the undercard? To be announced.
Sammy Vasquez.
See? Well, there's others too.
Hey.
There's not just 2 fights from Pittsburgh.
Those are the 2 ones that matter the most.
And they've also been loyal guests of our show. We appreciate all the respect they've shown us and all the likes.
There were nothing
Us
but
Smoking
respect
Jim.
for
I got
them.
a question. When's Jason Bergman fighting again?
Who?
Jason Bergman.
Oh, Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm
I
not
thought
sure.
he
We'll
has
have
a
to,
fight coming up.
we'll have to check into
You
that.
know what?
We'll
We
have
got to
look
have
into
him
that.
back on.
Yeah.
You know
was
that.
fighting-
He got to bring
he
a
was fighting
belt.
the Olympian, right?
He's defending his belt. So,
Yeah, they were
I'd like to
That
see him. I'd
NABA
like to
belt.
see him in the cage.
oh, then let him box first. He got boxing to do. I want to see you in the cage. We almost saw you.
As long as it's stand up. If it goes to the ground, it's in my contract.
Well, if you want to hear
If it goes to the ground, we gotta stand back up.
if you want to hear a classic moment, you got to listen to Hank Hanesick talking about when we went out to visit his gym out there on Camp Horn Road. And it's easy to find. It's just hard to get into.
Ain't that
And you
true?
understand when I explain that? Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, 300. What is it? 300 Camp Horn Road.
Mm-hmm.
So easy to find.
How come you
Chip
guys-
can tell us.
How come you guys don't promote the urban combat?
Well, we've tried to hook up with you, but every time we talk to you, you go, "I'm not leaving God's country." So
That's
I
tough.
thought that's everywhere, but
That's
here it's
tough.
Monroeville. He won't leave home,
He
folks.
goes to Sips a lot though out here.
5 nights a week. He might be there for Campini's
That'll-
50-cent pizza.
That'll help your bench press.
Yay!
Maybe if we're bench pressing meatball hoagies.
Hey, how about some Steeler talk here? We covered it lightly here.
Hey, why not?
What do you think? They got to have some play. Somebody got to step up this year.
And I think it's too early because, the team is far from anything close to resembling a team right now. They're in the process of trying to rebuild what they've torn down. And, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. It's hard to criticize what isn't there to criticize.
So what would you say the biggest weaknesses are on that team going into the draft? I would have to say defensive line is pretty abysmal.
Well,
I'd have to say Art Rooney the second. How are you going to? You got a franchise elite quarterback, the best quarterback in Steelers franchise history, and you won't extend him on a contract. You got him now sitting in limbo. That's ridiculous.
Well, you know what? And I think the part of that problem is, and I do believe that Ben will get extended, but I think they got themselves into so much cap trouble now that they're going to have
another black and gold lie.
I truly believe that Ben Roethlisberger is better than Terry Bradshaw.
He said it many times.
I love Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but he's not Big Ben. He's not Big Ben.
Trying to compare those two quarterbacks, two different eras. The game was
I need one of those pills
different.
you're taking.
The game played today is so much geared towards the passing game and building great statistics, where Terry Bradshaw is handing the ball off 35 times a game.
Ben could have played Ben's one of the few guys that could have played in the air.
Ben is a football player. There's some guys like Brett Favre. He could have played in any era. Because he was just so tough. But, Ben's big and strong, and he could have taken a beating before. But, like quarterbacks like Drew Brees, he'd have got broken in half.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to play. And, Terry Bradshaw couldn't spell cat if you spotted him a C and a T.
Listen, it doesn't matter. That man played big in the big games on the big stage.
What year did he come in the league?
Terry Bradshaw?
1970, and he had the worst stats for the first 4 or 5 years until he learned it. He always had the gun. But Big Ben, in my opinion.
Chuck Noll.
Wait
a
second. Big Ben won a Super Bowl with the lowest QB rating in history.
But that rating wasn't all year long.
He can't change that.
But Big Ben's first year in the league as a rookie, he was 15-1. Bradshaw's first year in the league, he was 1-13.
Mm-hmm. And how was the Steelers' record before that?
And Chuck Noll was going to move him to running back.
Who?
Terry Bradshaw.
Oh, yeah, that would have been big.
Yeah, because he couldn't learn quarterback. I mean, great, but Big Ben, in my opinion.
I just let the hardware.
Well, like I said, you want to compare apples to apples, and your quarterback from this era and a quarterback from the era in the 70s. You're not comparing apples to apples.
Well, let's call them even. Okay, let's whitewash it. Call them even.
You can't call
but
them
you
even.
can't whitewash it.
But here's the point.
Street Joe
here's the point.
It cannot be whitewashed.
Here's the point. How in the world can you not extend him? I don't care what you got to do. They're already getting ready. You got to extend that guy. Lock him up. He just had a daughter. He got bills to pay.
They told him to have the kids. All right, now we'll get
from
off
Newcastle.
Of that subject.
From Newcastle.
That's another story.
Let's not lose sight of the fact that he is under contract.
How about the other thing? It's a negotiating ploy. You guys are still naive about negotiating.
Yeah.
Every year I try to tell you. Here's what he does. Bradshaw started his rumor, or not Bradshaw. Big Ben started his rumor last year. Do you remember?
No.
We want to trade it or whatever.
Thank you.
Where was it?
Where do you think that come from? Your hero, Big Ben.
What did he say again?
Floated it out. I'd like to get traded. See what they think about it.
I'm telling you right now, Ben Roethlisberger will retire a Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. He will get extended. He will get paid. It'll all happen.
And it's motivational.
It'll all happen.
Big Ben motivated the Steelers.
If Dan Rooney was running the team or the Chief was running the team, I would say yes. But Art Rooney II?
Well, I don't think you'd want the Chief to run the team.
I would love for him to run the team. I like dog racing.
He's dead. You at least need somebody alive. And he didn't do well.
Yeah, he did great. Once he hired Chuck Noll.
Danny Boy still around.
Yeah, Chief hired Chuck Noll.
Dan did.
How old was Dan in 1969? How old was Dan in 1969? Thank
He
you.
was a young
Thank you.
man on the rise.
Dan takes a lot of credit for after his dad
Well,
died.
you know what?
Dan
You're a great writer, but you
ain't
misrepresent the history.
Dan wasn't even ahead of his brother. Art Rooney Jr. was ahead of Dan in '69. When Dan got more power, he fired his brother.
Well,
Send him
sure.
His
over.
brother was the one that drafted Franco in '72. Where was Dan?
Dan was in charge.
Yeah,
Dan was
Dan
working on
was
season
Dan was
five.
in charge of the ball boys, Tom Donahoe and Dick Haley and them.
Oh,
Well,
those are some talented ball
Todd
players.
Yeah.
Haley and them, yeah.
there's some good ball players.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
great. They were grooming them for the GM positions.
Well, there you go. But I don't understand if the chief was so great.
Great for 40 years.
He was
Good
great.
money. For 40 years, they didn't win nothing. But
And then what happened?
He hired Chuck Noll.
And that's what he did.
He hired Chuck Noll. The rest is history.
Yes, it is.
Why'd he turn it over to his son then?
Huh?
Why'd he
After
turn
he died, after he was dying?
before he let him in charge?
When?
Oh, you
Dan
gotta
Rooney
get
gets
them.
all that credit. He was.
don't think it's legit?
Dan Rooney was outstanding owner, but he wasn't his dad. His dad was the great one.
Well, his
Yeah,
dad
you're
was
not
a
giving
great
Dan enough
athlete.
credit too, because
Yeah, his dad
without
could
Dan
box and the
Rooney,
whole bit.
you don't even have the Rooney Rule, folks, at home.
We wouldn't have the Rooney Rule if it wasn't for Johnny Cochran. Dan Rooney had nothing to do with it. Johnny Cochran was going to sue the league. If it don't fit, you must have quit.
It says the Rooney Rule. It doesn't say the Johnny
Yeah,
Cochran
that's
Rule.
another.
It says the
That's
Rooney
another
Rule.
little white lie.
Rooney Rule. Rooney.
I don't know what happened here tonight. Somehow somebody lit a fire under Smoking Jim. I haven't heard all this new history.
I like to
You know
see
what?
it.
I got to see that book. I'm going to start reading some books tonight.
Yep.
I got a couple of those Rooney books. I'm going to read what they say.
I'll read Jim O'Brien's book, A Winning
There you
Tradition.
go, there you
go.
What does it say in there?
I'll let you know.
He didn't get to it. He's only read 32 books
At
during
least
the
you
winter.
know, though, that Chip Hayner's going to read that literature. You can't guarantee that Smoking Jim is going to read
Almost
any of
read
it.
some of
The first
Sidney
thing, the first
48.
part, you got to buy the book, and then you can read the book.
Oh, he's
One
been
of the
giving
best
books for
bets.
free. He's got books that are due at the library that he still hasn't read yet. He owes Cal U more money in library
No,
fees.
no, let me tell you the secret there. Whatever book he had, he sold.
Sold it back. Sold it back.
He
In
made-
mint condition.
He
brother.
made more money on books.
Those pages were crispy.
The
They had other
statue-
magazines, though, where they kind of...
Well, that's another story. That the statute of limitations is not done, Smoking Jim. So watch the Vulcans and Cal U. There might be some secret agents there. We covered almost every subject, so we'll do an open.
Except,
We did talk Pirates.
we did.
Yeah, we can't talk it 3 times.
No, we
talked-
talked about the Pirates' history.
If you need more time to talk Pirates, go ahead. We got about 3 minutes
Let's
for
talk
you.
about the upcoming season. You know, I think
Let's.
this is going to be a season in evolution for the Pirates. You know,
Evolution?
the starting 5. I don't think it's set in stone just yet. Jamison Tyon's got a little problem with his elbow.
Yes, he
They're
does.
sending him out west to get a second opinion.
I'm hoping for Tommy John surgery.
The first MRI has shown no damage to the ligaments, and they're going to get a second opinion. It looks like they're going to have to give him some rest, let his arm heal, and start all over again with him. Looks like Frankie Liriano is going to end up being the starting pitcher on the
Opener.
for the opener.
Even with the groin?
Don't worry about it.
He's going to pitch. He's going to pitch a game tomorrow, and test it out. So we're going to find out. Garrett Cole's is slated to pitch the first game against St. Louis, which is the second series of the season. We've got the Cubs in for the first 3. Next weekend, the Cardinals will be here. So that'll be a rematch of the playoffs last year. It'll be kind of nice. A lot of games being played in the first month between our Central Division opponents.
Yeah, that'll be
So
exciting.
it'll be a very exciting way to start the season. Andrew,
What happened to Lambeau, though?
Well, Lambeau, they found out that he's not quite ready for prime time. The player that has surprised them is Travis Ishikawa, who looks like he will be platooning with Gabby Sanchez at first base. Travis Snyder and Jose Tabata will continue to platoon in right field. They are still looking to make a potential trade, but it's got to be a good fit for everybody concerned. They don't want to give up too much, and we'll see what happens. I mean, you can never learn to never say never in baseball.
So you're saying they're going to trade Lambo?
Don't no. What their plans are right now is they're sending Lambo back down to AAA. They've got some things they want him to work on. They want him to regain his confidence.
Like
and
hit
they
the ball.
still haven't. They still have. I think what they did was, they put him in a position that he wasn't ready for, and he put too much pressure on himself, and and he failed. So they're going to try again, see what happens. He's going to get on to Indianapolis.
Yeah,
and give
but
it some
Gabby
shot.
Sanchez, and in all respect to the Pirates, to have Gabby play 75% of the games like they're predicting, that's suspect.
Well,
right
see,
there.
here's the thing about the 75%
I'm not happy
of the
there.
games. I don't think that he's going to play 75% of the games because Clint Hurdle is very much a sabermetrics guy, and everybody he plays, it depends on who's pitching, how he does against, this pitcher, that pitcher. There's so many different factors involved into who he
I
puts in.
understand.
And it's worked for him. And it's so confusing unless you're, a mathematician.
scientist.
You really don't understand much about sabermetrics. I only can scratch the very tip of the iceberg.
Well, you
on
can
it.
understand what they're doing is trying to put the player in the best position against the guy who they'll have optimal results.
Right.
That's what they're trying to do. So, it's a basic premise that you saw Billy Ball, they did it there, and they're extrapolating it with the Pirates, but the thing you need is talent, and that's what happens. You can put them all in the right position, say this guy hits 641 against this pitcher, but he might only have 3 hits all year. So
Well,
what's he going to do?
But what I'm saying is that the team that we're going to start on PNC Park on Monday, may not be the team that we see
there's no way.
finish the season. The team is going to evolve, and they're going to fill the needs that are necessary. I do believe we'll see Gregory Polanco play in right field before the end of the season. He had a very good spring. They've got him working on some things down to AAA ball, and they want to put him in a position that when they finally bring him up, that he will have a chance to succeed, as opposed to getting him up here and getting to the point like Andrew Lambo did in spring training, trying too hard, pressing, and then failing, and then really destroying the young man's confidence. But
Two hits in spring training for
no,
Mr.
he had more than that. That was a few weeks ago, Zach. But needless to say, he failed.
He had
okay?
3. So
He failed. There's
well, you got to call it how you see it, and
Yeah.
and look at how certain players got to bat in the 5th position or 6th position instead of cleanup. So you hope they mature, and some of them they bring up too soon, and they do have some success, but they're not complete ball players. That's part of the problem.
Is my 84 and under safe?
In our books, and little Z, mine, and yours,
90 plus.
there you go, folks. I only gave him an 82. All they
Who's
have to
the
do.
ace of that staff?
Right now, I'd say Francisco Liriano. Okay, Charlie Morton's going to start the second game. Charlie Morton's a solid pitcher. Garrett Cole.
Here's what we do. Let's remain hopeful. We got a minute to go. Why don't we wind
wrap
this
it up.
thing down? Zach, what else do you got? You're invited to Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night events with us.
That's great. I just found out right now, folks.
Well-
I'm glad you got to find out at the same time as me.
Well, that's why we like to keep him in suspense, because look at the reaction. It's all real. All right, Jim Frazier, what's
Well-
going on?
Congratulations again to DeAndre Kane of Iowa State and Arizona's Sean Miller and T.J. McConnell. Good luck, guys.
All right, thanks. Chip, we already know where you're going.
Saturday night, KSWA. Monday afternoon, PNC Park. It's Bucko time.
And come see us at Little E's with Jessica Lee. Come out Friday night, Three Lakes Country Club. Saturday night, check us out at the Rivers. And we may be traveling to the MMA out in Green Tree. Smoking Jim's has to stay till 10 o'clock that night, but he's welcome to come with us. We're supposed to go check out the Pinnacle fights out in that Green Tree Sports Complex.
Until
Thanks.
he sees the bat signal.
Yeah, he'll leave. Thanks, folks. Have a great night. See you next week. Maybe see you Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.